Hey everybody, welcome back. So if you've been hanging out with me, you know that recently I bought a bunch of elderberry cuttings. So these are the elderberry cuttings, or what's left of them. I planted about 15 of them so far. These are the elderberry cuttings that I got from my local ag extension, and they already have roots, and some of them actually have leaves about to pop. They have buds. So these are ready to go. I've planted about 15 of these. I believe these are locally harvested. So this is a wild variety. I don't know what the actual elderberry growth is, and the quality, the quantity, because I'm pretty sure these are wild harvested. So I'm going to have about 20 of these, and I may have found a local person that needs some help with some landscaping, and in exchange I'm going to get some elderberry starts. These are about $3, which may seem crazy, but these are perennials. Year after year they will come back, hopefully. And every year I can make my own starts, and maybe I'll have a little cottage business selling my own elderberry starts. So these I got from my local ag extension. But then I got 3 more actual cultivars of elderberry from River Hills Harvest, I believe. They're a farm in Missouri. And for, I think, the past 7 years, they've been growing elderberries. They make elderberry syrup and elderberry jam. I think elderberry lemonade, which that sounds interesting. So I bought a couple of their actual cultivars that they harvested from the wild, and they bred into these different varieties. Elderberry is kind of like pawpaw. Both are native to America, but both haven't really been in farming. So unlike an apple or a peach or a pear that have many different types of varieties, elderberry and pawpaw really don't have that many, because it's only been recently that people are trying to cultivate them for certain traits. So these are the 3 varieties I got, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. I got Adams 2, it looks like, Adams 2, Bob Gordon, and Wildwood. First I'm going to talk about Adams 2 here. This apparently is one of the longest lived varieties of elderberry, or it's been cultivated the longest, originally from upstate New York. It's a very tall plant, It's an early berry producer, large black to purple berries, and you're supposed to get great yields from Adams 2. So again, I only have 3 of each, but I want to try them out and see what I like the best. And I can make my own starts. Maybe not next year. I guess they say you shouldn't really prune until the 2nd year. So it's going to be maybe 2 years before I can take my own cuttings. But Adams 2 is one of the oldest varieties of farmed elderberry. So I'm going to try Adams 2. Next up, we got Bob Gordon. Now, I don't know who Bob Gordon was or is, but I'm sure he was like an elderberry king somewhere, and he might have had something to do with the cultivation of this variety. Sorry, Bob, I don't know who you are, but I'm sure you have helped out us elderberry growers. Bob Gordon seems pretty interesting to me. Apparently, it has larger berries, and in some trials, it had the highest yield of any of the varieties. And what really intrigued me is that the berries of Bob Gordon are inverted somehow, and it keeps birds from being able to take your elderberries before you can take them. I think that's a problem a lot of people have with elderberries, is birds love them, and if you're not out there harvesting, then you're going to lose your crop. I hear one of the best strategies is to just plant a lot of elderberries so that you can actually get some, because the birds are pretty brutal when they want to eat your elderberries before you can get them. At least that's what I've read. I haven't ever grown an elderberry before, so I'm trying this out. But that's why I'm interested in Bob Gordon, to see if the berries are actually semi-resistant to bird harvesting if you're a bird, attacking if you're an elderberry farmer. The last variety I'm planting is called Wildwood. It's a late season producer, but apparently it's one of the most cultivated farmed elderberries. It's done great in trials, and it was actually cultivated or selected from the University of Missouri. And guess what? That's where I went to college. So yeah, I mean, if someone in my old college worked on this, this is kind of cool. I probably walked by the building. I bet this was Ag Science building, and I was a science major. So I bet I walked by the building that they were trying to grow elderberries back in the late 90s, and didn't even know what an elderberry plant was, and I didn't even know about Wildwood for sure. So this is kind of cool. These are my 3 varieties. Now, well, 4 actually, because I have the wild harvested plants as well. I have 20 of those. So I'll probably have about 25, maybe 30 elderberry plants going this year. Starting small, but not too small, I guess. I'm going for it. This is going to be one of my biggest projects of the spring. I'm still working on the garden. I'm still doing bees. Bees, I think, kind of led me to elderberries, because honey and elderberry go great together for, I guess, winter use for medicine. So thank you, bees, and thank you, honey. The cool thing is, to root these babies, I just need to put them in water for, I think, about 2 weeks or maybe less. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in their jars, and hopefully in about 2 weeks I'll be planting them in the ground with the rest of the elderberries. If you're an elderberry lover or elderberry farmer, or have experience with elderberry, if you got any advice for me, I still got a long way to go. I'm building lots of raised beds on this terrace slope. So I still got a lot to do, but I'm dedicated to doing it, and I can't wait to get my first berries.